Thank you for joining us today with another Solibri webinar. Today we have an interesting subject for you. Me and Paul, Paul mostly, he will be our presenter today, and we will be talking about the clash detection matrix. So prepare all of your questions in the meantime, and at the end of the session, we will be answering as many as we can. Today we have prepared a shorter session for you, so you can get the most quality out of this webinar. This session also will be recorded. I know some people may ask us during the webinar that will you record this session? So yes, this session will be recorded, and we will share with you the recording as a follow-up email after the webinar ends, in addition to some further information. So yeah, stay tuned for that. Without further ado, let us introduce ourselves with Paul, so you know who your people are for today. Hi, my name is Maya, and I am the Marketing Communication Manager. I will be your host today, and I am offline trying to answer some of your questions to the best of my abilities, but we will leave Paul to answer most of the technical questions around the end of the session after we finish presenting. And here with me we have Paul today. Paul, would you like to introduce yourself?
Thanks, Maya, for your introduction. My name is Paul Linder. I'm Product Manager Strategy at Solibri. I'm part of the team since 4 years, and I'm implementing together with the R&D team new features, and also collecting ideas. So whenever you have feedback about our software, that's more than welcome. And today I'm presenting the topic simplify your checking workflow with Solibri's clash detection matrix. That means we have created a solution with 2 clicks. You can create a clash detection matrix and execute it. But we want to know more about you, so I'm handing over to Maya again, and we are starting with Paul.
Thank you, Paul. Yeah, so now after we introduced ourselves, we would still like to get to know you better. So we have prepared some questions that you will soon see on your screens. So please answer some of these questions so that we can get to know you better and try to give you the best experience. First, we would like to get to know how often do you use Solibri? Are you a heavy user, or are you not familiar with Solibri? Okay. I see a lot of you have answered already. I'll give a couple of seconds more. All right. So most of you are using Solibri daily. So we have a lot of heavy users. That's great, 45%. But some of you, this 10%, are rarely using Solibri. So I'm expecting a lot of questions from you. Please drop them in the chat at any moment during the webinar, but we will get back to these questions after we finish the webinar. Okay, so that was the first question. Next, we would like to know about your responsibility, or who is responsible for doing clash detection in your company. This would be very interesting to know, since we will be introducing the clash detection matrix. So I'm hoping that you are the person responsible for doing clash detection, regardless of the title. And if you answered other, please specify in the chat the title of the person who is responsible for doing clash detection. Thank you. All right, I see that a high percentage of you have voted already, so I will close the question and share the answers. That's BIM coordinator with the highest majority of 67%. It's not a surprise, but it's good to see other people available here as well. All right, I wouldn't take so much of your time, but we still have a question related to the clash detection matrix. So is it taking part? We would like to know if you have already tried to use it, are you using it, and what is your experience? Okay, there are some soons, which is great. It means that some people are here to understand more and get to try it and use it soon. And for the people who answered that they don't know where to start yet, I hope that today's session will give you more clarity and will help you start using it. If not, then maybe you can, in the feedback survey after the webinar, you can give us an answer, and then we will get back to you to see how we can help you in the best way possible. All right, and then I have one final question for you about geometrical checking. So which tool do you usually use to do geometrical quality checks? And you will know soon during the webinar that geometrical checking is the main usage of the clash detection matrix. So it's great to see how your experience is. I will wait for a couple of seconds more. Please answer if you haven't already. All right. I see that there's obviously a lot of people that are using Solibri and would like to know more, but it's good to see that we have some Naviswork and other software users. So that's great. We are glad to have you here today so you could learn more about how you can do geometrical quality checking with Solibri using the clash detection matrix. All right, that was all for us today regarding getting to know you. And I hope around the end of the webinar, you will get to know us and we will get to know you even more. Yeah, so I won't take more of the time. Let's get straight to the subject of today. Paul, over to you.
Yeah, thanks. That was pretty interesting. So a lot of you already know Solibri and are using Solibri on a daily basis. But not every one of you is using a clash detection matrix in your project or to do geometric validation. So let's jump into the topic. So we want to present you our new feature, clash detection matrix. That means we have created a clash detection rule where you have several options to go. And if you execute it, it could look like that. But in the first step, let's have a quick look on the traditional way. How does clash detection or geometric validation works before we have created that kind of feature in Solibri? And that's the explanation why we wanted to simplify that workflow. So as you already know, in Solibri, we have the intersection rule, rule number 1. With that rule, you can modify several combinations. So you can define component 1 that should be checked against component 2 or component group. It's up to your specification in that rule. So clash detection matrix, not all of you know what that is. It's like you want to check every existing combination in your model if there are clashes. For an example, I am checking from the architecture model IFC door versus architectural model IFC wall, and the same IFC door versus IFC window, IFC door versus IFC column, for an example. And each of this combination is part of the clash detection matrix. A clash detection matrix is built like a triangle because no combination should existing twice. So there was a way to do that with Solibri, but that was related to a lot of effort because you needed to create a lot of rules to rebuild a clash detection matrix in Solibri. So our aim target was to simplify that process, and therefore I want to explain a little bit about clashes before I show you how the clash detection matrix works. So you probably heard about soft clashes and hard clashes in the relation to clash to quality assurance. So soft clashes are, for an example, if you are checking the distance between a room and an exit door. If that is more than 30 meters, it's an issue because you defined that in your rule. And that's a soft clash. A hard clash is a geometric clash. That kind of clash occurs when two physical elements occupy the same space. So for an example, a duct is running through a wall. That's a hard clash. And mostly such conflicts are occurring during the design and planning phase, and whenever you are doing quality assurance with a federated model or with a single model. We at Solibri, we differentiate between three categories of hard clashes. One is the intersection clash, what I already mentioned, duct versus wall, for an example. Then we have the duplicate that occurs when component is existing twice on the same location. For an example, a stair is on the same location and you can't spot it because when you open up the model, you only see one component, and that's the stair. That leads to wrong quantity takeoffs. So it's pretty important that you control for that you check for duplicates. The same for inner components. Inner components are components that, for an example, are modeled by mistake by the designer. When you have the wall, and in the wall is an outlet or a door. If that wall is visualized or if the model is rendered, you probably won't spot that that component in the wall. So there is an inner component existing. So these are hard clashes, and so to detect that kind of issues, we created the CDM. But you probably heard about what we did last year. That's the IDS validation rule. I quickly want to explain why is that related to the clash detection matrix. So with the IDS validation rule, you can check information behind components. If that components have the requirements given in the IDS file. So for an example, is the IFC wall, does the IFC wall has the information, is external or not? And there we developed a simple solution via drag and drop. So you can drag and drop the IDS file and quickly run the check. The same logic we wanted to have with geometric checks, because information check and geometric checks are the first checks that needs to be done to have a good quality of 3D BIM models. So we developed the rule 245, the clash detection rule, and this kind of rule, with that kind of rule, you are able to create a clash detection matrix and execute it with only 2 clicks. For that rule, we have 3 options available. So when you select the rule, you can go with the default clash detection matrix. That's a hard-coded clash detection matrix, what is integrated in the rule itself. That is based on disciplines. Oh, sorry for that. Disciplines and entities. So architectural discipline is inside or is in the clash detection matrix. Then building services, electrical and structure, and all the belonging entities on that. The other option is to go with the customized matrix. The customized matrix means like you can click on the solution, you select like what kind of combinations do you want to have in the rows and in the columns. You can define the levels in that way. And you only get this kind of components in your clash detection matrix what are in your model. For an example, if IFC columns doesn't exist in your model, it won't be created in the clash detection matrix. So this is an automated process. I will show you that later. Then there is the third option. When you are used to work in Excel, you can create the clash detection matrix also in Excel. So you set up each combination. You can set up the tolerances of each combination, and you can also set up what kind of hard clashes do you want to check for that combination. The combination could be, for an example, I want to check IFC door versus IFC walls. And as well, you can set up the hierarchy levels. All these parameters are getting mapped in the rule when you're importing this Excel file. So let's have a quick look how that works. Create a custom clash detection matrix. I'm setting up the hierarchy level, and that way only IFC entities. Say I want to check duplicates and overlappings. Now I can change the severity of several combination, in this example critical. Going to the checking tab and run the clash detection matrix. So what is needed to have a good output is like going to the view, selecting parameters and report, because in the report you have the results. And these results are connected to the 3D view. So I see curtain wall or IFC column versus IFC column has 10 clashes in my model. And if I'm double click on the issues, I will see that in the 3D view. I can also spot what kind of clash it is in the result, and yeah, play around a bit. And at the end, I have the opportunity to create an export, so I can document my results of the clash detection matrix as an Excel file. Of course, I can also create slides like I'm used to, but for documentation purposes, it's also good to create an Excel file. So you probably ask yourself now how you can use the clash detection matrix. You can use it by downloading our newest version, Solibri version, and this is 24.5. In the solution center of Solibri, or when you are an ecom user, you can download it there. So that's the theoretical part, and now let's quick jump into Solibri itself, and I will show you how that works. So this is the starting page. You are familiar with that already, so let's skip that. And let's jump into the rule set manager. In the rule set manager, you can hit Control F, for an example, and searching for the rule 245. And then you will get the rule templates in the library, and you can just drag and drop it in your workspace. And here we go. This is the interface of the clash detection matrix rule. So as I said, we have here three combinations, three options in a way. One is choosing the default matrix, one is creation of a custom matrix, and the other one, the import of the Excel sheet. So let's have a quick look. For an example, I can use the default matrix. I will get that kind of matrix. This is hard-coded. We have a zoom in, zoom out functionality here. And as you can see in the first section, there is the concentration about every IFC entities which are belonging to the discipline architectural. So every combination is listed here, and some combinations are completely skipped, like opening in space, because that causes a lot of issues and it doesn't bring me any value to detect issues about spaces clashing with other stuff. And therefore, we have created that with nearly every discipline, or with the most common discipline: structural, electrical, building services. And as you can see, we also omitted some combinations like the architectural versus the structural. So because the column needs to be on the same location, so it shouldn't be any clash. This is how the default matrix looks like. And when we go into customized clash detection matrix, for an example, it could look like that. So you can edit the matrix. You can set up the hierarchy levels like you want. Some of you already know that kind of features probably. It's the same feature when you are categorizing results. So you can set up here different levels. In that example, I did that with the model information and the unit class. So I was able to create this kind of matrix. I prepared that now for the webinar so far. And as you can see, I can also do some setups. I can create my own tolerances for each combination, because some combinations have different tolerances. So for an example, for slabs versus walls, there could be 15 millimeters as a tolerance, for an example. And you can specify that kind of tolerances here as well. You can also set up the severity. But let's do that once. So I'm creating now a clash detection matrix. I'm doing that. I'm doing a simple one. So let's do the IFC entity versus IFC entities, for an example. And the clash detection matrix is now generated, and only that kind of IFC entities are listed here that are part of my imported models, nothing else. So what I can do, I can, the IFC geometric element is not that relevant for me now, so I can ignore that clashes, for an example. I don't need that. What is important? Important for me would be, for an example, IFC slabs, so that are critical stuff, and here as well, IFC slab. No, critical. This is critical for me, and I can say, for an example, for the whole roof stuff, I want to change the tolerances. So I set up a new tolerance. Oh, I misclicked here. I can set up new tolerances for the IFC roof and say, give it a character or even a text. It's up to you, and can say, okay, this is the tolerance, and I'm changing that to set. And this, for an example, have the severity moderate. And also I can do that with some other combinations as well. And the good stuff is, I am implying that here, the good stuff is I can use also quick select. So for an example, all sets should be, so they are marked now, should be critical or low or something like that. So it's pretty easy to use. And if I have created a clash detection matrix, I'm also able to save it as an Excel. So for an example, as a webinar. And now we can also work inside of Excel. So as you can see, this is here, the Excel sheet. I can here work, modify whatever I want. So by exporting, I already get a kind of an Excel template already. I can set up the tolerances here and also define what kind of clashes I want to check. So the same functionalities what I have in Solibri itself. So let's have a look into the import functionality of the rule. So I can also import an Excel sheet. So I'm importing that what I saved before. Okay, I first need to close it. If I'm not closing that, I can't import it. So let's import that, and now I have an imported clash detection matrix here available. So let's have a look into how that looks like in Solibri. So therefore, we are checking now our imported clash detection matrix, and I will run the check. Of course, I shortly need to refresh it. Now run the check. Of course, it takes a bit of time. It's a lot of computing power in the background because there are a lot of combination existing, but as you can see, I got the results here. Therefore, let's have a quick look how a matrix could look like when I'm not executing it with a clash detection matrix. So only that section here, is built up with a lot of rules. So you need to specify a lot of combination rules with the old traditional way, and with the clash detection matrix, it's only one rule. That's pretty awesome. So when I've got results now, for an example, I checked doors versus columns. I'm just clicking on that, get the results here, and seeing every door which is clashing with a column. Within right click, I can also select that in the result here on the left side. So I'm now able to look at the clash, and if it's a duplicate, for an example, I can also see that here. In the description of the result, as you can see, there are a lot of duplicates in that model. It seems to be that every column is modeled twice. I wouldn't spot that visually, so it's good to run a clash detection matrix beforehand. So this is how the clash detection matrix works. Here for the imported stuff, for an example, I can also do a live link to the Excel. So I can always update that immediately with that refresh button if I'm doing changes in the imported Excel. That's pretty cool. And yeah, if we take another look at the clash detection matrix here, or in the import stuff, of course, I can export that again for some documentation purposes, and we'll get an overview about the results. So I know exactly how many issues of each combination do I have. So it's a pretty easy way to have a good overview about the geometric quality of my model at one glance. I only need to define one rule, one clash detection rule, and can spot or can evaluate the quality of my model. That's it in a way, and yeah, please try it out and give us feedback about that feature, and of course we are happy to answer every question about the feature. Thanks. So
Thanks, Paul.
Maya, I would hand over to you.
Yeah, I saw that we have received some questions while you were presenting, Paul, but if anybody from the audience has more questions, this is the time. Please drop it in the chat. Paul, you can view the questions, but I have prepared some questions to start with. Somebody has asked if this clash detection matrix is only available for version 24.5.
Yes, it's part of the newest release, and so you need to download the newest version of Solibri. Yep.
Yes, please update your Solibri and download the latest version so you can get access to this matrix.
It's not only the matrix what we have implemented in the newest version, so it's good to update, definitely. There are a lot of good features beside of the clash detection matrix as well. Yep.
Yes. We have Antonio has asked what happens if you use Excel importation and you do a typo writing the wrong IFC class in the column or row? What will happen then?
Then it won't get imported. It needs to be the right terminology. Yeah.
All right. So please make sure that the Excel has the right terminology there.
Yeah. Therefore, it's always good to start to create a customized matrix in a way. Set up the hierarchy level and export that to Excel so you have a good template what you can work with.
Exactly. I will go by order. So we have a question here from Michael. Is there a possibility to show the percentage of elements that clash in the report?
This is exactly, so this is an MVP in that way. So this was the start with the clash detection matrix, and we are working to improve the clash detection matrix with some other features in the upcoming release. And the percentage is one thing what we want to concentrate on. Yeah, it's on our roadmap.
So please.
As well as something like a heat map, for an example, and the countage and so on.
Yeah. Annabelle asks, within the results of the default setting of CDM, when checking structural versus architectural, I get some results for structural versus architectural as well.
Okay, I need to have a look into that. Can you repeat the question? So
within the results of the default setting of CDM, when she checks for structural versus architectural, she gets some results for structural versus architectural as well. So for structural versus structural, okay. So she wants structural versus architectural, but she gets structural versus structural.
Yes, she will get both. Like first of all, we need to assure that the model itself is clash-free, and also that the combination between the discipline is clash-free. So there will be, maybe I can show it again here in the default one. Let's have a quick look at the default one. So I have here in my model two models. One is the structural, one the architectural model. And I will get clashes of the architectural model. So that is checked here. Then I will get clashes of the combination. That means architectural versus structural. And the opposite, structural versus architectural, is covered here. And then in this area, structural versus structural is covered.
Mm-hmm.
Hopefully that clarifies the question. Yeah.
Hopefully. Thanks, Annabelle. But since you have the model open, Paul, we have a question. Can you show how you report the issues through communication, bundled issues, for example, 15 columns together in
That's the old way, like creating slides in that way on the result level. So you have two options to go, or opportunities. You can report everything as an Excel, or you go the traditional way of creating slides and communicate that as a BCF. But this is still the way to go when you want to communicate the issues with the architect, for an example, with the designer. You should create slides, and then you can synchronize that with the BCF Live connector or creating BCFs by your own. Yeah.
Thanks, Paul. We have a question from Arnold. When you use tolerances, do you make a copy of the clash rule?
A copy of the clash rule. Was that the question?
Yes.
Yeah, when I'm using tolerances, I think I don't get the question. So so I can create here tolerances like I want to. For an example, roofs should have the tolerances 20 millimeters, and I can give it a character roof in that way and apply here for 20 millimeters tolerance and apply it here. So everything what I'm doing here is a part of the clash detection matrix rule. It's independent of the intersection rule number one.
Okay, we hope this answered your question, Arnold. So feel free to ask again or contact us to support@solibri.com if you have further questions. Paul, if you would like, you can choose the questions, but I think this one would be good to answer. So how can you insert discipline checks into a clash detection matrix from BART?
How can I insert discipline in a clash detection matrix check?
Yes.
So I'm creating here a clash detection matrix and have here the opportunity to set up disciplines here. So when I'm creating disciplines, I only have now, of course, two selections, the architecture structural thing, but of course I can break it even more down when I'm adding, for an example, IFC entities or IFC types. And this is how I can insert not location IFC entities here. That's how I'm implementing the disciplines here on the first level. So it's all about the setup here in the hierarchies. So this is for rows, this is for columns. So I can also delete that, then it looks, of course, differently. It looks like that combination.
Thanks, Paul, and thanks, Bart, for the question. Another question is, when a report is created, can you tell if a result is a duplicate or clash, etc.?
Created report, not now, but this is something what we want to work on. Yeah.
All right.
That you have more functionality in the report, that you know, okay, this is yeah, this is this category and this is that category. Yeah. Yeah.
Nice, nice. It's good to know what is needed so that we can focus on it in the releases.
Yeah, perfect. Thanks for the feedback.
I think somebody is asking if we can use other format than IFC type. So Patrick is asking, is it possible to use custom created classifications instead of the used example during the webinar?
Yes, of course. So you can choose in that filter whatever you want. For an example, what I tried to show you here in that example in customized, I used the unique class classification. So I can nearly use every kind of classification what I'm building in a way. So it is possible when you have created your own classification that you are using that as as a filter level.
Okay, I see a lot of questions that are based on cases. So I would like to ask you that please, if you're facing any issues, send your issues to support@solibri.com. I'm trying my best to choose questions that would benefit the rest of the audience.
We can of course go through it after the session as well and answer that.
Of course, yes, we can turn to you privately. Minna is asking, how can you do slides of the clashes to report them?
Slides can be created the normal way, like for an example, when I go into Solibri and having here the results, and for an example, let's use that one. I want to report every column versus beams. I'm clicking here with the right click, select the results in the view, and can create here and slide of that issue and fill in every information and having that then in the communication section. Yeah.
I think this is also good to answer, Paul. How can we exclude specific types of objects from the rules, such as some predefined types? Monica is asking this.
From the rule by ignoring clashes here. So when I go back into the rules in the rule set manager, I have here the opportunity to ignore stuff. I can ignore the whole row in a way, for an example. So I'm ignoring the whole category here. Or I can click on some combination what I want to ignore. So to build that up, you can use like, let's quickly have a look here, entity level, and then you go into the predefined types here and also selecting predefined types. I think. Yeah, and now you have for every IFC entity also a predefined type, and then you can say, okay, for this predefined type, IFC wall standard, that should be ignored completely, or what else? I don't have that many predefined types here in my model, but yeah, I can do it like that in that way.
Great, thank you, Paul. Unfortunately, we're running out of time and we still have a lot of questions. So if your question was not answered during the webinar, we will get back to you. And if it's urgent, please feel free to contact support@solibri.com. Yeah, but before you go, I would like to invite you to our upcoming webinars. So we have two upcoming webinars, one happening next week and the other one happening next Thursday. So next week's Wednesday, we have our customers, Michael Warren from AECOM. He will talk about mastering quality assurance for complex projects. So he have two case studies to show us, including 10 plus models, so very complex projects. So we are going to talk about that next Wednesday, and you're welcome also to join us with a webinar that we are hosting with Building Smart and Katenda next Thursday. I will send you further information on when you can, where you can register and how to register in the email follow-up that you will receive after the webinar. So please save the date and stay tuned for that. Unfortunately, we ran out of time today, but if you have any feedback or any more questions, you will have the survey, and feel free to contact me or Paul, and I will send you further information in the follow-up email. Yes, but I hope to see you in the upcoming webinars, and have a great morning, rest of the day, evening, wherever you are, and we hope to see you soon. Thank you, Paul, so much for this wonderful webinar about the clash detection matrix. There was a lot of new information there. I hope our customers will be able to use it soon.
Thanks also from my side. Yeah.
Yes. See you later. Bye-bye.
See you. Bye.